Welcome to the National Minority Supplier Development Council's Equity in Business podcast. My name is John Daniel, and I come to you humbly as your host. But I'm super thrilled and excited to be here with the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Business Consortium Fund, Sarah Halpern. Thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for
Thank
having
you so
me.
much. Look, I'm jazzed up. We had a little conversation before, but ladies and gentlemen, you got something coming you're going to remember, and it's a good thing. Let me start off because I'm gonna get right into it. You know me. Tell me about your backstory.
Hmm.
Take your time.
Yeah. Well, when I think about what I want to tell people when it comes to my backstory, there's a word that I want to use, and the word that I want to use is belonging. Now, growing up in rural New Jersey as a biracial kid with a mother from the Caribbean, a Jewish father, and having actually come from Long Island, moved to rural New Jersey, I never felt like I belonged. Every space I walked into, I was the only one. I was the only brown kid. I was the only half brown kid. I was the only half Jewish, half Muslim kid. I never saw anybody who looked like me. I didn't see people who looked like me in my classrooms, in the faces of my teachers. And then after I went to college and I had my first job, I didn't see people who looked like me there either. I spent many years in banking. And the reason that belonging is the word I want to bring is that it took me until I was 45 years old and I walked onto the floor of an NMSDC conference to, for the first time, feel like I belonged somewhere. People who looked like me, people who were enthusiastic about the same things that I'm enthusiastic about. Being in this ecosystem, in this network, in this community was the first time that I really felt belonging. And that's what I want to bring to everybody that I talk to. I want to bring a sense of belonging. I want to bring a sense of belonging to the clients who come to us, the people in my workforce, and everybody around me.
That's outstanding. And I like the way you chose your words, what I want people to hear, because those are the points that make sense to you to keep balance and peace, and also share good information, which tells me a lot about you immediately. Okay, you care about people, and you also care about yourself. You need to be in good shape in order to do the things that you're going to tell us about.
Absolutely.
I got a little peek at it, ladies and gentlemen, beforehand, but I'm gonna let this wonderful professional share with us your organization's mission, vision, values, and measurable objectives.
Oh, I love to talk about what we do. And I'm going to bring it right back to belonging.
Mm-hmm.
Why Business Consortium Fund exists is to bring capital access to MBEs primarily. That's why we were formed. We were formed in 1987 by corporate members of the NMSDC. We were seed funded with $20 million back then, with the promise of providing capital to MBEs who were on the cusp of growth, who had a contract, who maybe had their second contract, and they didn't have the capital to hire the people, to buy the things, to build out the space. We were going to be there for them. And throughout the years, in those 37 years, I can't tell you the countless numbers of clients who come to me, especially at events like this, and say, Sarah, your organization saved me.
Wow.
Your organization saved me. One of our clients happened to be across from us on the floor. He was, when we started working with him, a couple $1 million in revenue. Now he's a $400 million in revenue annually. That's what he takes in every year. And he told me, without BCF, he wouldn't be here. And I want to hear more of those stories. And we want to be here for these growing MBEs so that in 20, 30, 40 more years, more and more companies tell us, if not for you, we wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
So our objectives are to grow MBEs to become reliable, dependable, complex, ever more complex supply chain partners for all the corporate members of the NMSDC.
I love it. I love it. It's an honorable direction that's very much needed by up and coming MBE. Share with me, and you've begun to do this already. You shared with how you emerged in the National Minority Supply Development Council. Share with me what's going on now.
Yeah. Well, in the 37 years that we've been in existence, things have changed a lot, right? All environments change, and this one, we're subject to the same changes. And over time, we started as, we started with that $20 million. We worked with banks. We were sort of in the background of the financing. And since 2014, when we became a certified community development financial institution, we became the lead funder of the MBEs that we serve. And we continue to lend out and to be repaid by that initial capital tranche. And then recently, when I joined BCF in 2021, we were at a stage where we needed to recapitalize. And given my long career in banking and community development banking, I was able to identify 6-7 banks who came together, and they provided us another $20 million in capital that we are now lending out to MBEs. We're growing our portfolio. We had 8 loans in 2021. Now we have 60 and 60 clients, and we've doubled our lending staff, and we really just want to show up every single day to support the needs of the clients that we serve.
I want to dig down a little deeper on what you did to bring that many clients and people who would support what you're doing. It didn't just happen. Just give us a little bit of. It's your skill set. You might be gunslinger here, but I think the key is.
I'm not a gunslinger, but I love people.
Come on now.
I love people, and I love relationships with people. And in my 15 years in banking, I'm grateful to say that I was able to develop a lot of warm and trusting relationships.
That word trust.
Trust is so important. Warmth, right? Warmth is about like transparency. Warmth is about that you're going to show up and you're going to do what you say you're going to do, and it's engendering that feeling.
Yes.
Right? And so I developed these relationships with bankers, and when I came to lead BCF, they said, Sarah, we trust you. We trust our dollars with you. We know that with you and with your team and with your practices and with your long history, you're going to do right. And that's what we do. I mean, I'm so lucky to have come into BCF with an amazing team that we've continued to grow out. And we want to do right by our bankers and by our clients. So it's about relationships. That's how we brought the money in.
A couple words resounded with me. First of all, let me give a quick reflection. Purpose, process, payoff for the stakeholders, the bankers, all the people involved. You also said team.
Yeah.
And you emphasized it. Tell me about how you attract, train, and develop your team members. Now, obviously, there's external team, and I'm talking about internal team. Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll be humble. This is the first time I've led an organization.
Okay.
And leading an organization, it does humble you.
Wait a minute. Didn't you tell me you were a mother?
I'm a mother.
That's the hardest job in the world. CEO of the household, the kids.
That's where I learned some leadership skills, for sure.
Go right ahead.
Also, being the daughter of a Trinidadian mother, you got to learn some leadership skills
as
well.
Bring the culture now.
But the team is about respect, right? I respect my leaders to carry out practices, protocols, procedures that they've developed, that they know are best. I'm not a leader who's always, peering over your shoulder, looking at everything you're doing. it's about empowerment. My team knows
Mm-hmm.
that they're empowered to do what they know is right. And when they need me, they come to me and they say, what do you think about this? I have this decision I'm trying to make. Should we go this way or should we go that way? And it's the guidance that I provide my team members. So it's a mixture of empowerment and also being there to provide guidance.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like you're going to be on the Forbes best place to work soon, based upon what you just shared. I love what you just said about empowerment and respect, because that enhances what we talked about before, what you shared, sense of belonging and self-worth, so that they're curious enough to go on and do the things without looking to you for every answer. I love that. Talk to me just a little bit deeper about, and maybe it's already there, but I want to make it obvious for our audience, how you develop your employees. Those are ingredients of that gumbo. But do you have special classes for them? Do you set them up for success in some form or fashion?
Yeah, we certainly do provide them with formal training when needed.
Mhm.
And we also have books and articles that are available on leadership.
Mhm.
And also, we just talk.
Ah.
We do a lot of talking.
Okay.
We do a lot of talking, and that's where that guidance comes in. So it
Okay.
has to be a mix of both formal and informal systems. I mean, you brought parenting in, right? It's similar with your own children.
Yes.
You send them to school, right? But you're always there for them to provide that additional guidance, and that's how we develop and maintain our team. My team also is constantly learning from their work. They're learning every client they underwrite, every new client they see, every new partner or partnership that we have provides opportunities to learn. So being just in a growth mindset environment, that helps our team grow.
You know, Muhammad Ali is known for one of the shortest poems in the world, and it went me, we. And the operative idea there is, when the me person is developed, they're much more engaging and successful with the we. You know, so what is that me? Talents, intentionality, guided in one circle of a Venn diagram. The second one on the left-hand side is their drive. The third one on the right-hand side is what you just talked about, formal and informal education. We're always learning.
Yeah.
I hear some really wonderful things about what you're doing. It's clear to me, and it goes back to what you started with, belonging.
Can I talk a little more
Come
about
on
that?
now, come on.
I felt that powerful sense of belonging in that moment. And I wasn't a lazy person before. I was no schlub. I achieved before. But when you have that sense of belonging, it does inspire more self-confidence in oneself, right? It sparks ideas. It makes you more self-confident. It makes you feel more empowered and powerful. And when you have those feelings, you feel like you can do anything. And what is a business owner? What is an entrepreneur? That is a person who needs self-confidence in his or her, their own ideas, self-confidence in that they know, that what they're doing is right.
Yes.
And that sense of belonging, it just empowers an entrepreneur. So when a client walks in the door at BCF, the virtual door, right? They don't come to visit our offices anymore. But when they see us on a Zoom, you know who they see?
Who is it?
They see themselves. Because they see people who look like them, with the similar last names, maybe similar traditional background, cultural background, speaking a similar language. And so when they feel that sense of belonging in a financial institution, that makes a big difference, because we know that people of color historically maybe haven't felt like they belong in a bank. Maybe they've been treated differently, or they feel like they're being treated differently, which means they're being treated differently. Maybe their mother, their father, their grandmother, we have stories to tell, right? And so a lot of people who come to us have said, it's the first time they're looking for a loan, because previously they said, I don't need you. I'm good. I'm going to do this on my own. Too many businesses owned by people of color are undercapitalized. They don't have wide enough financial margins. They don't have enough cash cushion. Why is that? It's because business owners of color, when they reach in their pockets to self-fund in the beginning, the wealth gap, right? We have less to fund. We have less money with which to fund. And then we often go into businesses that are low capex, that require lower investment, and then we end up with lower margins. It doesn't have to be that way. We as people of color need to engender trust, need to have trust in financial systems, because that's that capital that's going to fuel our growth, expand our margins, give us more money so we can reinvest in our businesses and ourselves and our ideas.
Yes.
Right? So when they come to BCF, they see people they can trust, they feel a sense of belonging. And when you're opening up all your financial books, you need to trust the people on the other side of the phone or the line or whatever, right?
Absolutely.
And so we want them to trust us in order to show us their progress, show us what they're capable of, so that we can finance them so their businesses can grow.
Do you use the acronym BCF more than you use Business Consortium?
Certainly.
Okay.
Certainly.
All right. I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Everything I've heard really says you're on a very positive trajectory. And you're very satisfied at this point, but you won't be tomorrow because you're constantly driving. But that said, as we come to a close, I want to get a sense of, number one, anything we haven't talked about that you want to talk about. That's important, and we'll leave that for last.
Yeah.
And I also hope to bring you back soon so that you can give us an update on what's happening, as you kind of shared this time around. But how do you see your relationship advancing with the National Minority Supply Development Council? I know that you are the foundation, but still, there are things that can evolve based upon your vision that can be helpful.
Well, first, I just want to say that you suggested that I might be satisfied. I'm never satisfied.
I love it. Give me a pound.
I'm never satisfied.
Give me a pound.
We got to grow.
Yeah.
There's so much. We have such a hill to climb. There's so much work to do. And we have so many headwinds right now. So I'm not satisfied.
Okay.
That being said, what we need to do is we need to continue to bring in BCF. We need to bring in more people so we can provide more services.
Okay.
Services are at the foundation of what we do. Because when I mention that business owners of color they push away the financial systems, because of that, they may be financially literate, but they may not be financially fluent. And what I mean by financial fluency is that they can talk the language of debt service coverage. They can talk about their assets. They can talk about, they can talk more fluently to a banker about what they really need. They can come in and say, okay, yes, I need this $5 million loan or $500,000 loan, and I know what my payments are going to be because I calculated it.
Right.
So we need more of that, and in order to get there, we just need more people. So we need to grow. Growth. That is what we need to do. By the end of the decade, my goal is to have BCF with $100 million in assets and to have the majority of that money lent out to support the businesses that we serve.
Before we go on to that final question, tell me what you do with your clients to offer a circle of support of that literacy and fluency, because they're both important.
Yeah.
You can't do one without the other.
Yeah. So in the past year, we developed the Diverse Supplier Finance Institute, and we offer a series of webinars and classes and materials. We partner with the NMSDC. We partner with various regional councils. We are developing new partnerships with the MBEs, with various ethnic chambers of commerce, so that we can provide this education and information to as many borrowers as possible. In order to get fluent in a language, you just need to talk it, right? You need to practice.
Right.
Talk. So that's really important. And then once they're able to really be comfortable, and this comfort, it's not ability, it's comfort, right? Comfort in that language. It's just easier to come to us and then have confidence that you can take that loan on and successfully repay it and grow your business.
So your school, your education is not in a building, it's the world and the collective impact we put together. Outstanding, outstanding. Look, the floor is yours. I want you to drop this mic when you walk out of here. Okay, but buy another one if you break it. Whatever you want to talk about. And I ask again, don't make this the last time. Let's do a regular podcast to keep you coming back to update when it's appropriate.
I'm always happy to talk about BCF. It's my passion. What I would say is that providing this capital and bringing more MBEs into the fold of successfully taking on debt, successfully taking on equity, it's an economic imperative. We can't have the majority of our country be adverse to taking on external capital because that hinders growth, right? We need to have as many MBEs growing as quickly as possible, employing people in their communities, developing really cool new products and services for, within and without our communities, for the United States and for export.
Yes, ma'am.
We want it all, right? And we need it all. So we're here at BCF to not only serve the MBE, but also the corporations. You want your next supplier. You want a whole swath of suppliers who can serve all of your needs. We're here to grow them with you. So that's our promise. Our promise is to the corporate supplier diversity objectives, to the MBEs, to our communities, and really to the economy of the United States. It's just that, just that big. The economy of the United States depends on the work that we're doing here.
Absolutely love it. Give me a pound.
Thank you so much.
Till next time, I appreciate you taking some time here. It's been a wonderful conference at the National Minority Supplier Development Conference and Exchange. A lot of exchanges.
A lot of exchange happening.
We're good. Cut. You were good.